Bonjour à tous! Today I'm going to share with you another page from my self-care, wellness, journal, craft book, handbook, whatever you want to call it. So I've made already a few of these, and I thought that maybe you might like to have a few more, where I can delve a little bit more into each of these topics that I've made, some more personal, some more creative, some more crafty, some more deep. So today I'm on the topic of grief. So I made this page while I was going through a grieving moment, because it's a part of everybody's life where we have times that we do need to grieve. And it was not something that I grew up with or learned about. It was always to hide it or keep it in or keep it to myself. So when I did learn more about this topic, I did some therapy work. I worked with a grief recovery specialist who really helped me to pay attention to this part of life that we so often try to ignore. There was a lot of things from my past, many different aspects that I hadn't even realized about myself, and how those things, how holding on to those things really affected me today. So I made this page as a reminder, as a loving, gentle reminder to take the time to grieve. But it's not a bad thing, it's not a negative thing, it's not something to look down on or to feel bad about or feel that others will maybe judge us or look down on us for it. I think it's becoming more of an inward. So once again, with some cutouts of magazines and some doodles and pictures using craft papers, old papers, I created this page for myself. I started off with, I take time for grieving. Here this little paper says, we often underestimate how often we need to grieve what we leave behind as we grow, shift, evolve, and expand. We are told, be strong, don't stay small. But what we aren't told is that sometimes evolving and growth is hard. Sometimes it's setting a foundation for ourselves before we can grow. I've made it a habit now to let go and release what is no longer serving me, who I am today. But I realize that it's also important that I make time to grieve those things I let go of in order to make space in my life for more of the new. So that was a key point for me. It's good to let go, but it's good to take time to grieve, time to be sad, time to cry, time to remorse. All that is part of grieving. And I added these little tags as a reminder, what is grief? It's easy to fall back to my old mindsets about it, so I like having it really clear here. This is from the grief recovery program that I went through. It says, grief is the normal and natural feelings and reaction to any loss or letting something go. Grief is conflicting feelings caused by the end or a change in a familiar pattern of behavior. It's giving me time and space to be sad as I look over the past. It's accepting all feelings about it. It's checking into how it's affecting me today and asking myself if it's the right time to dig it out and get more clarity on it. So this is the definition, and this is a little continuation of my point of view on it. And then another question, how do I grieve? So I took some time to also journal that. Helpful steps along the way. I take time to check in about it. I choose to take the necessary steps toward recovery. I identify my short-term energy relieving behaviors, also known as STIRBs, or distractions. I map out my loss history graph. Anyway, these are more details of what I've learned as I went through the program, and I did my inner work, my healing work, my therapy work. Something that I really encourage for everybody, even if you think you don't need it. Because when I went through the program, I thought I was going there for something, and I ended up realizing that there was something even much greater, much deeper, much more important that I needed to work through. So just to encourage you, take the time. This is really a part of self-care, and this is kind of like what actually started me on this road to self-care. I first needed to do some grieving work, and that helped me to question myself about so many other things in my life. And I wrote myself some affirmations, which you know I love to do. Positive self-talk. I allow myself to feel my grief before I let it go. I recognize painful moments, but I can still move on to feel happy and hopeful again. I give myself time and space to feel all my feelings. I am gentle with myself as I heal. I give myself a break today. My heart feels lighter. So even during the process of grieving and even personal development, I've learned that there are some days where it's good and I can keep it up, and other days where I can just take a break, go on vacation, not really a vacation, but a mindful vacation as well, and just do nothing at all, because we can't constantly be bettering ourselves or healing ourselves or making ourselves feel happier or more joyful. Even though I do talk a lot about joy and doing what you love, doing what lights you up in my wellness parties. And if you're new to wellness parties, these are times that's something that you can plan with your friends, with your close friends, time to connect in deeper ways around and related to self-care and well-being. And it's joyful, it's happy, it's delightful atmosphere. But there's the balance, of course, to that, to the always joyful and happy. And I think the balance is taking time to be sad, taking time to grieve. And here, some more words, loving words, encouraging words. When I care for myself, I'm able to grow into the new version of me. So again, this is also part of grieving, because it's allowing myself to grow in a different way, not maybe the way that others tell me to do it, or what is on trend, or even feeling like I have to always be doing the right thing or always trying to accomplish something. Grieving is just allowing things to happen in their own good time and reflecting on those things. Most of all, I think it's asking myself, how do I feel? How do I feel about this? How do I feel when I do this or when I don't do this? And accepting it, listening. Anyway, if you would like to take a little moment to reflect on some of these questions for yourself personally, or even just to have a moment, a quiet moment, listen to your heart, then please feel free to join me, or you can take your pen and paper if you'd like to do it in your journal. So some questions that I love to ask myself over and over about this topic of grief is, how would I describe grief? What is it for me personally? What is something I'm grieving at this moment? How do I allow myself the time and space to grieve? What benefits me from taking this time? What support or nurturing do I need most in moving forward?